What is up, guys? Tech Asian back here again, and today we're continuing on with our reading and writing files and opening the file names. So we're going to go into more depth rather than just opening a file. This time around, we're going to be able to read just one line of a file, even close a file, truncating a file, or write stuff to a file. So all these things, really interesting things, and these commands, we're going to start implementing them today, and we're going to see what they do. So as we remember yesterday, let's open up VS Code first so we can go over what we were doing. So yeah, okie doke. So this is what we were doing yesterday. So remember, text.read, opening the file opens it, but in order to actually read it, you have to put these function marks around it, or else it won't read, or it won't output the read, like what's inside the contents of the file. So let's get started with starting with a simple new file. We'll create a new file. We're going to call it rnw, read and writing.py, rnw. And then we're going to start by importing our argument, and then from there we're going to do script comma file name equals argv, and we're going to print we're going to erase, and then %s, we're going to put the file name in this case. So then we're going to say print if you don't want that, comma, hit control dash C, and then, so I wonder if this is going to do something pretty cool. We'll see when we run this. And then print if you do want that, comma, hit return, and then period. And then we can put input question mark, or wait, it's not going to be text, it's going to be an actual, oh wait, yeah, it is text. Okay, so right here, so far, what we're going to have right now is it's going to print a file name. Well, we're going to have to assign a file name. And then supposedly, hopefully, these inputs will actually do something. So I'm guessing return might be a backspace or the enter key, probably the enter key. And then control C would be just control C. I'm hoping that actually creates something, but let's see. There's still more to go because we have to build what happens when we're going to erase the file name. Because even though we're saying we're erasing it, we haven't assigned a function to that with that truncating, because that's what empties the file or erases the file. So we're going to say opening the file. So that's just a statement, and then we're going to assign a target. So target is going to be file name, comma, W. And then if we go back to our sample text, just to remind us what that does. So I put equals, it's going to equal file name. So hopping back, open. So we have a string here, so I'm not exactly sure what this W will do, but we'll see. It might just print that out, I guess. Maybe. We'll see. And then we're going to say print truncating the file, goodbye. Google, what? Goodbye. And then we can do target.truncate, and then that's a function. So truncating is going to be a function. So truncates the function. So it already knows that, so we don't have to assign it. And then we print, now I'm going to ask you for 3 lines. Line 1 equals input line 1, and then we're just gonna do line 2 is gonna equal input line 2. Line 3 is going to equal, and obviously input line 3. Okay. So pretty easy stuff right here. We got 2 more lines to write, and that's all for this doc. Or no, we got a couple more lines. Okay, got a good amount of lines to go. Print. I'm going to write these to the file. If you want to skip ahead to when I finish typing all this, that's fine. Or if you want to just hang around while I'm typing, that's fine as well, because you guys might want to type along and see what these things do. So target dot write, and then we do /n. That's fine, right? There's no error. Okay, that shouldn't be an error. Okay, and then we do target dot write line 2. Target.write, I'm pretty sure it's going to be /n, right? New line, yep. So we're going to create a new line. So we're going to write line 3, and then target.write /n. Alright, so what I'm thinking here right now is, so I'm thinking it's going to write these lines, and then it's going to obviously put a space because you want it to be a new line, and then the user inputs what they want for each line. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, so we're going to combine all of these functions all together and see how good it runs. So target.close. Alrighty. So if I've typed everything correct, it should work. Alright, so we're gonna open sample text again, perhaps, or this text file right here, and give it a try. So I think there's no error showing up, so let's go to this terminal. We'll do Python, my file rnw.py, and then add just a random text file. So we're gonna do sample underscore text.txt. So if we're going to erase, if you don't hit Control C, if you so I don't want to do that, so we're going to do Control C for now. Keyboard interrupt. That's odd. Okay. We'll try that again then. We'll do Python rnw.py sample underscore text.txt. So let's say I do want to hit return. Opening the file, truncating the file. Goodbye. Huh. Alright. Line 1, we're going to say, hey, bye, what's up? I'm going to write these to the file and finally close it. Okay, so now that it closes, we're going to see what actually happened. So it did delete the whole file, and right to it. But for some reason, that Control C doesn't seem to be working. But let's see what's happening here in our code. So let me delete the rest of these real quick, because we only need our RNW file. All right. So we're going to create a file name. We're going to enter a file name. So obviously this is going to be what we're going to be running in. So your script would be rnw.py. File name would be the file you want to open. And you're going to erase it. If we don't want to, we hit Control C. Maybe that's Shift C. Not exactly sure what's happening there exactly, but hitting enter, this input creates this opening file. So what if we input something else? Because we're not specifying what kind of input you put there. So let's run it again. We're gonna just keep on running this and figuring out what each part of this does. And yeah, so sample underscore text.txt. All right, so Control C. I'm hitting Control C, and that's saying it's a interrupt. So maybe it's just text.txt. Maybe it's just this up arrow, this C. Wait, hold on. This, and C. Enter. So we're gonna create random lines. So we're gonna say pizza, pepperoni, and peppers. So let's see what happened there. So it did delete the data. So it doesn't. So in this case, Control C is an interrupt. So it doesn't erase the data, but it also prevents it from doing anything else, which I guess makes sense, which is the point of doing this. So if you hit Control C, that's automatically something that interrupts the terminal. So it's not really, we're not actually hard programming it in. And then entering just any other character that you type in that doesn't interrupt will continue on the file. And then, so what does this W mean? This W is just a string with a character in it. So yeah, so it says that if you're it's really just a string with a character in it for the kind of mode for the file. So if you use W, then you're actually saying open this file in write mode. And there's also R for read and A for append and modifiers. So you can also use the plus modifier. And so like W plus or R plus, it'll open the file in both read and write mode. And depending on the character used, the position of the file in different ways. So open file name is just causing you to read it, but if you want to write to it, then you're gonna have to put the W. But I'm assuming if you put W plus R, perhaps, yeah, that's read. You're gonna read and write that in the read and write mode. Which is pretty cool. Maybe it's not this particular way. Perhaps W plus R is not valid. So W plus is valid. Maybe we can put R plus. Let's see if that gives us an error. Because if it doesn't, then I'm pretty sure then that would work. So Python R and W dot py sample underscore text.txt. So there's a type error right there. So W plus R plus doesn't work. Perhaps it's just W plus, and maybe that's the way to do it. So this will open the file in read and write mode. Alright, so if I put R plus, so read, it's normal. So R plus should allow me, if it's reading and writing, it should allow me to write to it. So, because if that wasn't there, we're gonna test it out again. It should not run for us. Sample text.txt. Hi, bye, good. Alright, so yeah, that it should show up hi, bye, good. So yeah, so R plus or W plus, those will allow us to read and write at the same time. And obviously, if we just left it at R, which is normally, you wouldn't even need to write R, because that's what it's going to do automatically. The default is in R, it's in read mode, and yeah, so it doesn't support, as you can see right here, it doesn't support it because it's not, the file not open for writing, which is pretty cool. So that's really cool. We're gonna put this in W plus so we can read and write, but if it's in W, you can't read the file, you can only write the file. So if I were to like go back to the first day for sample underscore text.py, if I try to open the file and read the file first, just to make sure we know what's in the file, and then if I want to choose to delete it or not, it most likely wouldn't be able to read it, because we're not setting the file to be read, it's only being set to write. So if you want to try out that exercise for yourself, go for it. Try to combine those two. I might be doing that tomorrow. We're probably going to combine all the things we've learned tomorrow, or go into some more detail. So do what you want. There's a lot of things right here. So another thing I wanted to point out is this target. So target is an input and output value. I'm not sure if we can name it something else. Let's just call it random. Perhaps it'll work. Yeah, so this is just a variable, so it doesn't matter what you name it. So it's just going to be targets, because the target file, I guess. And then you just add the period truncate function. So this is just a function already that's inside the Python, that's built into the Python library, just like file name and everything like that. And then this input tells you what to input, this line, input another line, and then close, which is good. Yeah. So another thing I would suggest, if you guys want to do something like creative with this, perhaps, is like, you know how this is saying you're opening the file, or if you want to delete this file and you're using the input. So you could perhaps use an input function and say like if input, so you could say input y, like input equals y, maybe. I don't know how this exactly would work. So equals y. Then you could do like then something something something. So like this would have to be in here. I don't know the exact syntax, and we can go into it later on, but if input, then but yeah, I don't know how to do this, but you could do like input, if input equals that, then equals y. So you could say, instead of, if you don't want to do that, we're going to erase this file, yes or no, and then based on their input, then something would happen, then you would open the file, or if it doesn't, then you just close the file from there. But all right, we'll revert this back to normal. And yeah, so that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.